West Yorkshire Police have been discriminating against white recruits in favour of recruits from ethnic minorities. The state of law and order in our country is reaching epic failure at the moment. Not only is the public losing trust in the police, it also seems like the police are focusing more on Facebook posts than they are on burglary. And in addition to that, daily there's stuff coming out about the discrimination of white people and how this woke agenda, this woke mind virus has affected all different parts of our police force. And is it any wonder in this type of culture how the grooming gangs have managed to flourish in this type of atmosphere? It's getting out of hand, really. And, I'll just demonstrate it first of all when we have a listen to this lady here who's going to position racism in a really friendly way.
If a certain group isn't represented, whether it's females, whether it's minorities, policing will do everything to make that representation. Now, representation is important, Martin, because we need different experiences, different perspectives, diversity of thought. The whistleblower is saying that they're grading people according to gold, silver and bronze. And if that
white
is the
people are being screened out. How can you agree with that as somebody who's fought against racism? Is it impossible to be racist against white people?
No, let me make this quite clear. I don't agree with that. I've just said to you that if that's the case, then that needs to be investigated because there's something wrong in how they're doing that process. And is that an individual decided that they're going to, create this new system, or is that? It
happens in police forces all across the land. I hear it all the time.
Right. But secondly, where is your evidence to say that these white officers have been prejudiced and discriminated? Racism becomes at the point that they have been prejudiced and discriminated. Now, from my understanding,
that's the policy. That's literally the policy, to screen out white people. It's here in black and white. Pun intended.
Positive action isn't illegal. Positive discrimination is. And at the point of selection, if you're discriminating based
on... What's the difference? Seriously, what's the difference between positive action and positive discrimination if it has the same output, less white people?
So you see right there how this is applied. The term positive action versus positive discrimination. And so positive action means that you can ask a person from a certain ethnic place, be that white, black, Chinese, whatever it is, you can ask a person to apply for the job, but it only becomes discriminatory in law at the point where you discriminate at the selection process. And so we begin to see how this has seeped in, the diseased way that this infects everything that we do now. This lady positions that, well, you need different levels of thought and you need to understand how various communities work. To that I say, no you don't. The law should be applied equally. We should all be equal before the law. Why would anybody need to understand a community? Why would anybody need to have diversity of thought? This is all part of this woke mind virus rubbish. You don't need diversity of thought to apply the law if you're applying the law the same way to everybody. And this is part of the reason why these grooming gangs have risen to the fore, because this is the system which allows this type of stuff to fall between the cracks. And this is what it is. This is how it propagates itself in society when we start to go through this nonsense. West Yorkshire Police should have just advertised for policemen, and whoever's the best people to do that should be thrust forward. If you're going to start perfectly dividing society up like so many women, so many men, so many people from this ethnic minority, the whole thing just becomes a ridiculous charade of what policing really is. We should always have a meritocracy, the best people for the best jobs. It's as simple as that. And to compound this, a very, very quick clip here of our Home Secretary. When presented with the information, she can't even give an opinion because she's too scared to give an opinion. And so Yvette Cooper here is presented with a really, really straightforward argument. And I'll play it for you here.
You don't think this is taking place in West Yorkshire? So, as I understand it, they are complying with all of the fair recruitment standards and right that they should do so.
People are given a certain ranking, i.e. Black and Far East Asian candidates are gold, followed by Southeast Asian, who are silver, and white others include British, Eastern European and Irish. How fair is that?
Yeah, so I don't know the details, as I've said. I don't know the details of individual forces recruitment.
But broadly speaking, would you be supportive of that, Home Secretary?
Well, the arrangements have to be about getting the best possible candidates for the job, and that's always got to be the case. And as I understand it, this has all been looked at by Her Majesty's Inspectorate to ensure that that is the case.
So the answer to Nick Ferrari's question there, broadly speaking, would you be supportive of that? The answer to that is, no, I wouldn't, because if I did support it, or I fluff the answer and I give you a non-answer as I'm about to do, then that essentially makes me a racist. If you're in favour of prioritising people for a recruitment process based upon skin colour, and you don't know that that's not appropriate, then you're a racist. And that means Yvette Cooper is a racist, aside from the fact, of course, that she's quite happy to let tens of thousands of small children be abused by roaming gangs of men, officials, social workers, policemen, and potentially MPs and lords, etc. And so this is a woman who's deeply compromised. We shouldn't be too upset at this point or too discouraged to learn this stuff, because Yvette Cooper has already informed us that she doesn't care about people, she doesn't care about small children, she doesn't care about racism in the police force, she doesn't really care about a lot really, she cares about a job, and she cares about not stepping on a landmine or upsetting certain Labour Party activists when she goes on and does one of these little interviews. This is, again, just a disgusting indictment of the state of our politics. This woman here can't even say, no, I wouldn't do that, because she's scared. Typical politician. Thanks for your time.